So let us start with our lecture. So we were talking about collocation, correct? So what is collocation? Collocation is keep using two or more words together okay. For example, I told you somebody from Assam can say Biswa likes strong tea. Okay. So there is nothing like weak tea. There can be strong tea, strong coffee, but there can be no concept of weak tea. So weak tea, if is used, is wrong collocation. Okay. Weak tea is not correct. So you can't use it, while strong tea is correct, and this is collocation. Is it clear to all of you? Similarly, I gave you many more examples. I've sent in Google Classroom. The list of collocations which you can refer to. So collocation is two or more words that often go together. I have already discussed all these things with you. Types of collocation also I've discussed with you. Up to some extent, not all. So let us so we discussed yesterday adjective plus noun, noun plus noun. Let us see. Let us give Mr. Jones a round of applause. The ceasefire agreement came into effect at 11 a.m. I would like to buy 2 bars of soap, please. Noun plus verb The lion started to roar when it heard the dog barking. So for dog we can't say roar, and for lion we can't say bark. Okay, dog bark, lion roar. Okay, snow was falling as our plane took off. Okay, so for snow we can't say take off or take down. For plane we can't say falling. Okay, when the plane is landing down. The bomb went off when he started the car engine. So this way, I told you committing suicide, committing murder. Okay, the prisoner was hanged for committing murder. I always try to do my homework in the morning after making my bed. Okay, he has been asked to give a presentation about his work. We had to return home because we had run out of money. At first, her eyes filled with horror and then she burst into tears. Their behavior was enough to drive anybody to crime. Okay, we had to return home because we had run out of money. Now, verb plus expression with preposition. Had run is verb, out of is preposition. Okay. So, out of money is expression with preposition. At first, her eyes filled with horror and then she burst into tears. So, all these are expressions, verb plus expression with preposition. Their behavior was enough to drive anybody to crime. Now, see, I can't teach you prefix, suffix, antonym, synonym on a homonyms, homophones, collocation as such. As much as you read English attentively and try to use English in your day-to-day life, you will learn all these things. Okay? Nobody can teach you anything unless and until you do it yourself. It's like cycling. See, driving, swimming, you need to do it yourself, then only you will learn it. See, no, nothing can be taught actually, it is to be learned. She placed her key gently on the table and sat down. Mary whispered softly in John's ear. I vaguely remember that it was growing dark when we left. So verb plus adverb, placed gently, whispered softly, vaguely remember, or remember vaguely, you can say. Okay. Now there are other collocations as well. Bang on time, dead on time, free time, from dawn till dusk, great deal of time. Okay. Annual turnover in business English, bear in mind, break off negotiations, siege trading, chair a meeting, close a deal, close a meeting, come to the point, dismiss an offer, draw a conclusion, draw your attention to, launch a new product, lay off staff, go bankrupt, a ball of string, a bar of chocolate, a bottle of water, a bunch of carrots, a cube of sugar, a pack of cards, a pad of paper. Okay, so you need to learn these. Is it clear to you what is collocation? I hope it's clear to you. Hello, student, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Collocation is clear to you, or any confusion is there? If any confusion is there, you can ask me. Siddharth,
Yes, ma'am.
is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any one of you have participated for today's elocution competition? Okay, no issues. Let me go to the next topic. Start the next topic now. So let us understand the next topic. Let us do the next topic. Now, all of you, please take care of your health because the climate is changing. The climate change affects everybody. And besides, the COVID is also there. Coronavirus is also there. So please don't roam unnecessarily outside the home. Okay? And take care of your health. Because all of us have to take care of ourselves. If we don't take care of ourselves, we will be only in trouble, na? ठीक है, तो हम सबको अपना अपना ध्यान रखना है, साथ में अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स का भी रखना है. So next topic we will be doing, and that will be there are two topics which are remaining from the first unit. If I remember correctly, one is voice and another is direct and indirect speech. So we will do voice and direct and indirect speech. Okay, now try to understand these topics, because if you haven't understood these topics during your student life up to 12th, no issues. But now you need to understand it properly to learn English. Okay. So, what is voice? Voice, you all know, na? You say voice is not coming. Okay, so there are, when we talk about voice are of two types. In English, when we talks about voice are of two types. Okay, one is active voice and another is passive voice. Clear? Similarly, there are two types of speech. Okay. One is two types. One is direct speech and another is indirect speech. Okay, so when we are doing direct indirect speeches or active passive voice, before that we need to know the tenses, which I have already done with you in the first semester. Correct? So please repeat all those tenses, then only you will be able to do active voice, passive voice, direct and indirect speech. Now, what is an active voice? I am writing few sentences. Okay, let us understand. Suppose I say Sita writes a letter. Okay. Then I write a letter is written by Sita. Okay. So can you tell me which voice is which sentence is which voice? Sita writes a letter. Okay. This is example of active voice. Okay. Because subject is important here. Sita writes a letter. So who is active here? Sita. While a letter is written by Sita is example of passive voice. Okay. Now, similarly, when we do direct and indirect speech, I gave you example. Okay. For example, I say, I said, I say, the sun rises in the east. Okay. So this is example of it's example of what? This is example of direct speech. Okay. When I say that the sun rises in the east, it's example of indirect speech. Is it clear? So, but you will be able to change voice. I mean, from active voice to passive voice, as well as from direct speech to indirect speech or indirect speech to direct speech, only and only when you know the various types of tenses and the rules of voice and speech. I mean, when you know, when we change from active voice to passive voice, what are the rules to be followed? When we change from direct speech to indirect speech, what are the rules to be followed? But those rules can only be followed if you have good knowledge of tensage. So please revise your tensage before I start with active voice, passive voice, direct and indirect speech. So today I'm not telling you the rules, regulations of active, passive voice or direct, indirect speech, because you need to revise your tensage. Now, to understand or to do voicage and direct and indirect speech, first thing is that you should know the tensage well. Okay. When we are talking about tensage, you must know present, past, and future tense first. Okay. Which I have already done with you. I have sent you the list of tensage even in Google Classroom. Correct? Then you also need to not only know present, past, and future tense, but their types, which are indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Correct? Besides, you also need to know subject, verb, object in a sentence. Not only this, you also need to know pronouns, that is first, second, and third person pronouns. Is it clear? Because if you know these things, then only you will be able to do voiceage and direct and indirect speech. If you don't know these things, you will not be able to do it. Okay. So let me revise for you the pronouns, subject, verb, object, etc., tenses, and all. Now, when I say the sun rises in the east, what is subject here? Or when I say Sita writes a letter, when I say Sita writes a letter, what is Sita here? Sita is subject, correct? So in this sentence, what is subject? Sita is subject, correct? Writes is verb. Okay. And a letter is object. Clear? Is it clear to you? Now when we change it into active voice, a letter comes first. A letter is written by Sita. In this sentence, a letter is what? Now, Sita writes a letter is a present tense, and that is also present indefinite, correct? Or you can say simple present. Okay, so how a simple present indefinite tense in active voice will be changed to passive voice, you need to know. Now, a letter which is object in active voice becomes subject in passive voice, correct? Because it is simple present tense and singular, so is has been used in passive voice. Okay, is written is verb. Okay, and by Sita is object. So the structure of the sentence doesn't change as such, correct? By each preposition and Sita becomes that way, by Sita becomes object. Now when we say a sentence is made up of subject, verb and object, and in active voice as well as in passive voice we see subject, verb, object. So structure of the sentence doesn't change as such. It remains subject, verb, object pattern only in active voice as well as in passive voice. Clear? I hope it's clear to you this much. Similarly, if we see I say the sun rises in the east. I say is present tense. Clear? Present, simple present tense or present indefinite tense, whatever we say. The sun rises in the east is also present indefinite tense only. Okay. So when I change it, I say that the sun rises in the east. Now from direct to indirect speech, to remove the comma and inverted commas, I have used a linker or connector or cohesive device that. Okay. So that you need to understand. If you know the rules of active passive voice properly, direct indirect speech properly, then only you will be able to change it. If you haven't learned by 12th, it's time still to learn how to change active voice to passive voice, how to change direct speech to indirect speech, how to change a sentence in passive voice to active voice, how to change an indirect speech to direct speech. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Clear? Now I am also talking about first, second, third person pronouns, because in voice as well as direct, indirect speech, it's very important to know first, second, third person pronoun. Okay. So let me do that. So when we talk about first person pronoun, so it's I, my, me. Okay, where I is subject in active voice. My shows, suppose you say it's my letter. Okay, so you can't say it's I letter, it's me letter. It will be my letter only. Okay, so it's possessive. Me can be only used as an object. I can be used only as subject in active voice. Okay, and its plural will be we, our, us. So these are the first person pronouns. I, my, me, we, our, us. Similarly, we can be used as subject and us can be used as object in active voice, and our is possessive. So I say I play football, we attend a lecture. Okay, I can't say me play football or us attend lecture. Is it clear to you? सबको
Yes,
समझ
ma'am.
आ रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
सेकेंड पर्सन प्रोनाउन की हम जब बात करते हैं तो सेकेंड पर्सन में खाली एक ही प्रोनाउन आता है, यू, योर, यू. ठीक है, यू सिंगुलर भी यू ही रहता है और प्लूरल भी यू ही रहता है. सब्जेक्ट के तौर पे भी यू ही रहता है और ऑब्जेक्ट के तौर पे भी यू ही रहता है. इसलिए वी कांट चेंज मच. इज इट क्लियर? सो इफ आई से you are writing a letter, you are attending a lecture, it can be one you, it can be plural you as well. ठीक है? Let us come to third person pronoun now. What is third person pronoun? In third person, we have he, okay, he, his, him. ये सिंगुलर मेल हो गया. फिर सिंगुलर फीमेल के लिए क्या यूज करेंगे? she, her, her. Is it clear? Then
Yes, ma'am.
प्लूरल, he और she का प्लूरल क्या होगा? they. Not only he or she, let us come to the third one, it as well. it जो है वो generally we use for non living. it, its, it. okay, एंड उसका प्लूरल क्या होगा सबका? लाइक हमने आई का प्लूरल भी किया था ना. सिमिलरली ही शी इट का प्लूरल क्या होगा? दे. ठीक है, तो दे विल बी एट द सब्जेक्ट प्लेस. ठीक है, फिर देयर, THEIR, there, and then THEM, them. Is it clear to you? So when we say he, she, he, his, him, she, her, it, it's, it, they, their, them. So he, she, it, or they are used as subject. Him, her, it, them are used as object. His, her, its, there are used as possessive pronoun. So I say it is my book. It is his book. It is her book. Okay, it is their book. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the three persons, pronouns, first, second, third person pronoun you need to know. Why? For example, if I say, I play football. Okay. So in this sentence, I play football. If it is to be changed, and I say change the voice. In bracket, you are given change the voice. Okay. So how you will change it? So I told you Sita writes a letter. In that sentence, I play football, I is subject, play is verb, football is object. Now object change into subject. So football will change into subject. Football is played by me. So you must know I changes into me when it's used in passive voice like this. And me changes into I. Okay. So if football is played by me, this voice is given to you. It is in passive voice. And if I say change the voice, then you must know that me will be changed into I. So by के बाद जो भी है me will change into I, and the verb will, because in passive voice third form of the verb is used, and you will use I because it is is played, so it will become I play, and then football. We will do it in detail in the next lecture. Today I am just giving you what is active voice, what is passive voice, how to change it, that we will do it in next lectures. Is it clear? Similarly, if I say, suppose I play football, I write in direct speech. Suppose I make it direct speech. Ram says to Sita. Sita. Okay. So if I say Ram says to Sita. Okay. Okay. I play football. Okay. Now this sentence is in direct speech. Okay. How you will change it into indirect speech? Until and unless you know what is first, second, third person pronoun and the rules and regulations related to direct and indirect speech. Now it will change. Ram says to will change in tells. Ram tells Sita. Okay. That, and to remove inverted commas and comma, we will use that. Okay, and because it's in this part, Ram says to Sita is in present tense, and this is in also in present tense, but because it is in present tense, this part in inverted commas will not change per tense. That now I is first person changes according to the subject of this part which is before comma. What is it known as? That I will tell you. That he, so it will become he played, okay, football. Now if you don't know that I, first person will change according to what you can't do, and I is first person, so you will not be able to do it. Similarly, if I say change this into direct speech, this is indirect speech. Ram tells Sita that he plays football. It is indirect speech, and if I tell you that change it into direct speech, then you must know that sage to change it into tells. Okay, then only you will be able to do Ram sage to Sita. Okay, then you must know that is used to remove inverted commas and double inverted commas. So you will put comma and double inverted comma. Begin with now he is the actually he is third person, but it has changed according to Ram. So it will be I play football. So all these things you can do only and only if you have good knowledge of tenses, if you have good knowledge of what is subject, object, verb, है ना? So all these things you can do only and only if you know first, second, third person pronoun, rules of tenses, rules of voice, and rules of direct and indirect speech. Is it clear to you? To all of you? I haven't done much today. I have just given you idea what is direct speech, what is indirect speech, what is voice, active, passive voice, what is first person, second person, third person pronoun, what is subject, object, verb. Okay, I'm ending the lecture now. In the next lecture, we will do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.